And while we're doing that, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself for anyone that might be on this morning who perhaps is new, or maybe you're watching this replay because someone invited you to join us. So for those of you here live, thank you so very much for coming. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. For those of you watching on the replay, I so appreciate you coming back in and checking us out. Don't forget, whether you are live or watching the replay, those hearts work, so you can give a lovely little tap to the screen, and that's going to share some love by providing a lovely little flow of hearts. Thank you so much for that. Okay, it's going to provide that lovely little flow of hearts for me to let me know that I am providing you with some useful content and some things that you can appreciate. The other thing is that if you are also joining us via YouTube, thank you so much for joining us here as well. We greatly appreciate it. If you'd ever like to join in on the Periscope conversation and be interactive with us, please feel free to pop on over to that Periscope app, and you can follow me at Buffy Hood. Okay. All right. So as everyone is coming in, please feel free to share this out with your followers if you'd like. You can do that by either swiping over or swiping up, or clicking the little Perry man there in the corner. You click on that and then click share broadcast and share with followers. Okay. All right. So how was everyone's weekend? Did everyone have a good weekend? Are we rip-roaring ready to go for this new week? Thank you so much for inviting your followers. Thank you. Did everyone have a great weekend? Give me a 1 if you had an awesome weekend. Yes. Yes. Yay. Yay for good weekends. Good morning, Tessa. Yay, 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 yay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so if we have anyone here who is new joining us for the very first time, or perhaps you've simply never introduced yourself, would you please put a 1 in the box along with your first name so that I can be able to welcome you properly? I would greatly appreciate it. Is there anyone new today? Put a 1 in the box along with your first name so that I can welcome you properly. Otherwise, we will go ahead and get started. Haven't been on for a while, new work schedule. Oh, okay, awesome. Well, thanks for joining, Kelsey. We appreciate that. I'm glad that your work schedule has allowed you to pop on here. And here's the thing. So for those of you who might not know, we used to have a different time that we came on. We used to come on at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day, Monday through Friday. And then we switched it to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to check us out on the live broadcast, make sure that you are receiving notifications to be able to get that, or just make sure that you're here at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, and we will be able to see you. Okay? All right. So some of you may have heard some of what I'm getting ready to share. Do we have any Holly Girth fans out there? If you are a Holly Girth fan, would you put a 1 in the box so that I know who we got here? So if you love Holly Girth, put a 1 in the box. She is a author, speaker, counselor, etc. She is amazing. So needless to say, I have been taking a look at the book, You're Made for a God-Sized Dream. Okay, and so if you have read this, that's awesome, Crystal. If you have read this, then you might be a little familiar with what it is that I'm getting ready to talk about. But what I'd like for you to share, and here's the thing, be as silly as they are, it doesn't matter, okay? But here's what I'd love. I would love for each of you to share what you wanted to be when you grew up as a child. What was a dream that you had as a child for what you wanted to do when you grew up? So we're talking like when you were like little itty bitty. What was it that you wanted to be? Okay, so Tammy, you wanted to be a teacher and a mom, zoologist. Awesome. What else do we have? A fashion buyer. Well, look at that, Terry. Love that. Author. Okay, nurse. Look, you all were very practical. Ice skate dancer. Okay. look, Tessa, I think you and I are a little bit more on the same wavelength from when we were kids. Okay. So here's the thing. When I was a kid, there were three things that I wanted to be. Um, two of which were when I was little. And then the other one was as I became a little bit more of a teenager. Okay, so missionary, teacher, and mom. Love that. Okay. All right. So as a little bit, a little bitty kid, all right, we're talking 5 or 6, I wanted to be a solid gold dancer. I don't know how many of you are familiar with solid gold, but if you don't know, Google it. I'm telling you, now looking back, it is like one of the funniest things in the world. Like I showed clips of that to my kids and I'm like, do you believe this is what your mama wanted to do? Like, that was what I wanted to be when I grew up. And my girls were like, seriously, mom, seriously. Solid gold. So apparently I always had a thing for bling. But yes, it was a show, a TV show called Solid Gold. And they would feature, music artists and things like that on there, but they had these dancers. Okay. You'll have to check them out. Okay. Very funny, Tessa. Very funny. Okay. All right. The other thing that I wanted to be as a kid, but maybe a little bit older. So we're talking maybe around 10, 11. All right. Hey, girl, I don't blame you. Crack up because it is funny. Okay. So when I was probably between like maybe around 10, I wanted to be a singer. Okay. Now, I failed to think about the fact that I was so stinking shy. Like I would never do a solo and chorus. I like even to have to sing for the music teacher at the beginning of each year so that she knew where to place me was like anxiety attack. So I never followed suit because my fears held me back. Okay. And then, at least due to the internet and the ability of webcams and that kind of thing, I did venture out and have done some videos and that kind of thing. But it was there again, it was all done from mainly the comfort of my home with nothing more than my webcam. So there wasn't a lot of anxiety to be had there. And then to try and push myself out of my comfort zone in, I believe it was 2004. I did try out for American Idol for the sole purpose, not because I thought I could win. I knew better. Okay. But I did it for the sole purpose of getting over my fear of singing in front of people. And now since then, I have done a little bit more in terms of I sang at my cousin's wedding. I have sang at Haven of Hope and things like that. So it has helped a little bit, but it still scares the daylights out of me. Okay. But as a teenager, I wanted to be a counselor or a psychiatrist or something along those lines. Like I wanted to do something to help other people because I had been through a lot of junk and I felt like my testimony of kind of the junk that I've gone through could potentially be helpful for other people. Okay. Now, all of that to be said for now as an adult, what are your dreams now? So this is where I want to hear what your dreams are now as an adult. So I'm going to give you just a minute to go ahead and put those things in the chat stream. I want to see these. I am so anxious to see these. So let's see them. Tell me what your dreams are now that you're an adult. Okay. What is it that you're striving for? What is it that you hope to be or that you hope to become or that you hope to do? What are those things? Go ahead and put those in the box. Yay. I wish I could give you all hearts. Like I wish there was a way for me to be able to tap on the screen to be able to do that. Move to the beach. That is an awesome dream. That's an awesome dream. Senior leader. Awesome. Love it. What else do we got? We got some more dreamers out there. I'm going to do a little dance for you. Short term reaching All-Star and Amethyst by June 30th. That is awesome, Jenny. You can do that. You've got this. What else do we got? Show people their full potential. Love that. Quit your job to be full Premier Designs. Love that. Oh, these are so awesome. These are so awesome. Okay, so to share a little bit about what my dream is. Oh, quit my full-time job and go back to being stay-at-home mom and having Premier be your only job. Aw, quit your job and be. I'm sensing a trend here. Everyone wants to quit their job and do Premier full-time. Yay! That's awesome. And here's the thing, okay? My goal is kind of a combination of many of the things that you guys put, okay? I do have a dream. Oh, girl, that's on my bucket list too. Italy and Ireland, they are on my bucket list. But here's the thing. Many of those things are also on my dream board. So here's the thing. Sometimes we are conditioned to stop dreaming, okay? Has anybody ever been, girl, we should. Has anybody ever been conditioned to stop dreaming? Did anyone ever try to, if you have dealt with kind of naysayers who tried to tell you, to give up on your dreams, or, that it was silly to have dreams or things like that, put a 1 in the box if you've dealt with that. Designer by June 30th, and long term, be able to support my family with Premier. Oh, Tanya. Okay, so put a 1 in the box if you've dealt with people telling you that basically you're foolish for dreaming. Like, why are you dreaming? Just go get yourself a job like regular people do. Who wants to be regular people? Okay. For me personally, I'm not content being regular people. That's me. Okay. I don't want to just have to do what everyone else is doing. And sometimes I feel like that's the only reason why people do what they do, is because it's kind of like, well, that's what everyone does. That's what responsible adults do, is they go work for someone else. Well, no, not necessarily. Okay. So here's the thing. Many times we are taught to stop dreaming because it's not responsible. It's not, yes. And Kelly, don't. Okay. So we're going to talk on that. Okay. We're going to talk on that. So here's the thing. While our dreams may change and evolve and turn into different things as we reach different seasons of our life and different ages in our life, okay, it's so very important that we do not stop dreaming. Okay, so important that we don't stop dreaming. I need to lean over here and grab my thing here quick. I'm just not content being stay-at-home mom. Gotcha. And you know what? That was my thing when I started Premier. Because here's the thing, being a stay-at-home mom of kids who are in school full-time, like, I needed something more. Okay, I needed something more. So I needed to do that. And you'll forgive me, I am not ignoring you. I am pulling something up here that we are going to need here in just a second. There we go. Alrighty. Make sure I have these going in the right direction. I believe I do. Okay, so here's the thing. Have you ever had a dream, and I want you to put a 1 in the box if you can relate to this. Have you ever had a dream be placed in your heart that made absolutely no sense to you? That when it came into your mind, there was a couple things that might have gone through your mind. Maybe the thought was, that is too big of a dream. I don't know why I even thought about that. Or maybe it was more of a, that is not even like my personality. Like, why would I even be thinking about that? That just seems silly. Like, that's not for me. Or, whatever. But that in your heart of hearts, you knew there was no way that you put that dream there, because it doesn't make sense for you. Maybe it doesn't make sense for your personality. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. For many of us, that's what it was. Many of us, it was coming into Premier that it made absolutely no sense. Okay. Y'all have seen my before and after picture. It did not make sense for me to do Premier. I knew nothing about fashion. Okay. I knew absolutely nothing. I knew nothing about business. I knew nothing about like, right, exactly. Okay. So it's one of those where, for many of us, it could be exactly what we're doing now that didn't make sense when it first came to mind. Okay. Um, so here's the thing. When you have those things put in your head and you're going, this doesn't even make sense for me, whether it doesn't make sense for my life, doesn't make sense for my personality, doesn't make sense for things that I typically want to do, whatever, it doesn't make sense. Okay. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably because you were not the one who put it there. Okay. Which means it's coming from Him. It's coming from the Lord. It's coming from a place of where you were created for a purpose. Okay. Yes. Yes. And it's crazy, isn't it? Because like before premiere, I didn't care about jewelry. I certainly didn't care about fashion. Okay. So it's really silly to me now, like to look at it and be like, man, how could something that I never even gave a second thought to be something that totally consumes my thoughts and in a good way? You know what I mean? Like in a good way. So here's the thing. When those kind of dreams come into your heart and come into your mind and you're going, this does not make any sense to me, chances are it is coming from God and it is an invitation for you to have more intimacy with Him and to fulfill the purpose that He created you for. Okay. So here's the thing. Sometimes we are so comfortable being mediocre, okay, and we get comfortable doing what's familiar. But if we were to truly look at things, it's not very comfortable. Like most of our situations, especially prior to coming into Premiere, I can tell you my situation was not comfortable. Going paycheck to Wednesday was not comfortable. It just wasn't, okay? So I knew I needed to do something, but Premiere was not what I thought it was. Okay. I knew I needed an answer to our problems. I knew that I needed a solution. But what I had up here, what I thought it looked like here, was not what God had intended. Okay. And so even though I had this desire for us to not struggle so much financially, and even though I had this desire for us to be able to be in a home, like a real home that we could call our own. Even though I had those desires, I also assumed that that meant me having to go and get an actual job, which is just over broke, in case you didn't know. Okay. So here's the thing. I never thought of Premiere as being a solution to those problems. Okay. But that's what God has used it for. All right. I never thought of Premiere as being a way for me to fulfill my desire and my passion for singing. But it kind of brought about some of that because I got to a place where I was building on my confidence and got to a place where I figured, you know what? There's a lot of people on the radio that I listen to that I don't like, but there's plenty of people out there buying their records. So just because my voice might not be for everyone, there are some out there who do appreciate it, who do enjoy it. So there again, maybe God has used me to reach out to those particular people. It doesn't mean He's going to use me in that sense. This particular hair, I'm sorry, it's driving me nuts. We're going to push it the other way because it's being rotten. Okay, so here's the thing. I had to get to a point where I said, you know what? If I'm feeling called to do this, even though I don't want to, y'all, the first time that Gary Googe asked me to sing at Haven of Hope, I was literally almost in tears, scared. All right, but I felt like for whatever reason, I needed to do it. I didn't want to. I did not want to. Everything in my being said no, but I did it. And man, am I thankful that I did, because even though I was scared to death and I was so consumed with my own thoughts, my own fears, my own doubts, whatever, as I was singing, not realizing it, I was touching people there. Okay. And that was more than enough. That was more than enough. But it was also me being called to a point of obedience. That God kept telling me I needed to do this, even though I didn't want to, even though everything in my being said no, God wanted me to do it. Okay. So I did it. And many times that's what we need to do. We need to learn to succumb to those kind of things. Okay. We need to learn to let go of what we want or what we don't want when it's for God's will. Okay. And that also comes in our dreams. The Lord also comes to us in that way. Okay. So I have a few things that I would like to share with you from out of Holly's book. Okay. So the first one is we're going to talk about the 5 lies that we tell ourselves when it comes to dreaming. Okay. All right. The first lie is our gifts have to be for His glory, even if no one. Exactly. So when He called me to do that, it was kind of one of those where I'm like, I don't want to, but yes, Lord. I don't want to, but yes, Lord. I point blank told Him, look, I can't do this on my own. I'm gonna need you every step of the way because this is not me. Okay. And guess what, y'all? He was there with me every step of the way, and I survived. I did not die on stage, even though I felt like I would. Okay. I didn't. So here we are. Yay. Okay. So the first lie that we tell ourselves when it comes to dreaming, or that the enemy tells us rather, is that dreaming is selfish. How many of you have ever had a dream, put a 1 in the box, have ever had a dream, and then you turned yourself away from it going, you know what? It's just selfish for me to be looking at that. It's just selfish for me to even think about that dream because there would have to be some sacrificial things there in terms of my family or in terms of my career or in terms whatever in order for me to follow that dream. Okay. Has anybody ever felt that way? Put a 1 in the box. Okay. Okay. Here's what you need to know. Dreaming is not selfish. Dreaming is not selfish because here's the thing. 1 John 4:16 says, "And we have known and believed the love that God has for us. God is love, and he who abides in love abides in God, and God in him." If the Lord put those dreams in your heart, He did so for a reason and for a purpose. And for you to say that it is selfish is wrong. For you to not follow those dreams is selfish. Okay? Because here's the thing. It is never easy for us to follow God's path. It's not. Okay? God doesn't say it's going to be easy. What He says is it's going to be worth it, and He's going to be with you every single step of the way. Okay. So we have to stop viewing following the dreams that God placed in our heart for a reason and a purpose as being selfish, and instead realize that following those dreams is simply being obedient to the God who loved us enough to send His one and only Son to die on a cross for us. The least we could do is take advantage of the opportunities that He gives us and provide ourselves a way to get out there and follow the dreams that He has put in our heart. Can I get an amen? Okay. I'm telling you, because we focus so much on what we want or don't want, what our feelings are and things like that. And even to the point of saying, you know what, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want, I don't want to do this because that's going to take away from this person or take away from that person. Y'all, if the Lord put that dream in your heart, you need to do it. You need to do it. Okay. Anita, then something tells me that this is for you. Okay. This is where you need to be. All right. So that's the first one. Okay. And I'm going to try not to harp on these too long because I don't want to hold you up too long. Okay. And so lie number 2 that the enemy tells us is we don't have what it takes. That we don't have what it takes to accomplish that dream. Okay. Anybody ever felt that? 1. Okay. Put a 1 in the box if you've ever felt that. That I just simply don't have what it takes. All right. Here's the thing. And y'all have heard me say this. You've heard other people say this. God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Stop comparing your dream to the dreams of others. All right. Here's the thing. many times we look at other people and we go, you know what? I have this dream, but I'm not qualified to do it. However, her dream is similar and she is qualified. So she's going to reach her dream, but I won't. I just probably shouldn't even go for it. Okay, here's the thing. God put that dream in your heart, in yours. Okay, so even though it may look similar to somebody else's, that dream is separate. All right, and there is only one you. There's only one you. And if God placed that dream in your heart, He is calling you to be the one to do that. So the only way for that dream to come true would be through you. Even if that dream was given to somebody else, guess what? It wouldn't work because that dream wasn't theirs. Okay? It's yours. All right? So you need to own it, and you need to understand that if the Lord put that desire in your heart, He put that dream in your heart, He is going to equip you to be able to fulfill that. Okay? It doesn't mean that the second it's there, suddenly you have the skills. Okay? But what it does mean is He is going to help you through that, and He is going to help you gain those skills. Deception comes when we compare our dreams to others. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing. That comparison trap, that is just another thing that the enemy uses to try and knock you down. Okay? Just another thing he uses to try and knock you down. So here's the thing. God will use you to reach the dreams that He put in your heart, but you have to be obedient enough to follow Him. Okay? And if you don't follow Him, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? All right. Lie number 3. You ready? If you're ready for this one, put a 3 in the box. Lie number 3. Put a 3 in the box if you're ready, ready, ready. Awesome. The third lie is, it's too late for me. It's too late for me. You know, maybe if I would have done this when I was younger, maybe if I would have done this before I had kids, maybe if I would have done this before I started this job, maybe a different time in a different place. Okay, but it's too late for me. All right, anyone ever feel that? If you felt that, put a 1 in the box. All right, and Tanya, you're right. It's never too late. It truly is never too late. But many of us get that mindset. Okay, all right, there you go. There you go. See, ladies, you're not alone. You are not alone. Okay, all right. So the next verse I want to share with you on this topic is Matthew 19:26. But Jesus looked at them and said to them, with men, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So it is never too late. I don't care if you are, okay, look, Andy Horner, what, got remarried at like 89? Okay, it's never too late, right? It is never too late. It's never too late for you to follow your dreams, and it's also never too late for a new direction. Okay, so maybe the path you're currently on, maybe you're looking at that going, you know what? I know I was originally going this direction, but maybe I need to go this direction. Okay, and for some of you, maybe it was that you were thinking you needed to stay on the path of your career. Maybe it's time for you to consider a different path, and maybe that path is strictly premier. Okay, so you really want to look at those different things and go, look, it's not too late. It's never too late to dream a new dream. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, lie number 4. If you're ready for a 4, put a 4 in the box. Put a 4 in the box, and this is a big one. This is a big one, and I want to know if this is an ouch for anyone. I want to see it in the box. Okay, I don't deserve to dream. I've done too much in my life that has been wrong. I've messed things up. I don't deserve a dream. I don't deserve to have that dream fulfilled. Right? Right? Yes. Okay. Let me give you the verse for this one. All right. Philippians 3:13 and 14. Okay. Y'all, this was Paul. This was Paul's writing. Okay? Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. I press toward the goal of the prize, the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Okay? Look, I don't care how many other things you may have goofed up in your life. I don't care whether they were goal oriented or not. I don't care how many other times you tried to go for your dreams and your goals and it didn't work out. I don't care, because that does not matter. God is willing to give you the desires of your heart when you go to him with them. Okay? Go to him with the desires of your heart. Tell him that this is what you want. Be so bold to ask him to help you get these things. Do the work and the effort that it requires to be able to go for those things, and leave the results to him. Okay? But stop thinking you don't deserve it, because you absolutely do. You absolutely do. Okay, last one, number 5. Number 5, this is probably going to be an even bigger ouch than the last. Okay, number 5. No problem. No problem. Come watch the replay. Who's ready for number 5? Put a 5 in the box. 5, 5, 5. Who's ready for 5? Anybody? There we go. Yay. Okay. All right. So number 5. And if this one's an ouch, let me know. I simply don't have the time. I have this dream. I have this goal, but I really don't have the time. I'm so busy. I got so many things on my plate. You know, maybe I'll come back to this dream when things slow down. Maybe when things aren't quite so crazy, hectic, busy, I'll have time to work on that dream. Maybe once the kids are older, I could do a little bit, different. Maybe when the season is over, the sports season is over, maybe I'll have more time. Maybe when overtime at work slows down, I'll be able to focus more on my business. Okay? So for any of you who have ever felt that way, put a 1 in the box. Put a 1 in the box if you've ever felt that way. Okay? Let me tell you something. Yes. Yes. Okay? So here's the thing. Even in Esther 4:14, that last sentence in that verse says, "Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this." Okay? Such a time as this. Not such a time as then. Not such a time as that. But such a time as this. Listen, God gave you the dream that he gave you in his time, not yours. Okay? That might be why that dream and that goal didn't make sense to you, because you are looking at your life going, man, I'm crazy busy. I got so much going on. I just can't focus on it right now. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Listen, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but each of us gets an opportunity to choose what we will do with it. Well, tell me something. Why are we choosing sports schedules? Or why are we choosing busy work? Why are we choosing to constantly work for somebody else, paying, that they're just paying us a small fraction of what we're actually helping to bring into their company, while in the meantime, you are building their dreams and their goals, okay? But you're not willing to take the time to work for yourself, to work toward a dream and a goal that God himself placed in your heart in his perfect time, and you're trying to say that you know better to say this isn't the time. I mean, what? Does that confuse anybody else? Put a 1 in the box if that confuses anybody else. Why do we think that we know better than God to say now is not the time? If he put that dream in your heart, this is the time. You were made for a time such as this. Okay? This is supposed to be your time. This is supposed to be when you work toward that. Yes, and if you're not making time for it, you don't really want to have it. Yes, because here's the thing. We all make priorities. We have to create priorities in our life. And if you are not making your business a priority, and that is where your dreams and goals are, you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. Okay? You have to make your dreams and your goals a priority, especially when those dreams were put in your heart by the Lord. Okay, now listen, just like Holly says in her book, if your dream is to run away to Tijuana with the pool boy, that dream didn't come from God. Okay, all right. So, but here's when you have that dream in your heart that you know doesn't make sense to you because it might not be what you want. Or you know that that dream doesn't make sense to you because you might be looking at the timing going, this just isn't right. Okay? This just isn't going to work. It's too crazy busy. I can't add another thing to my plate. But listen, if God has continued to put it on your heart and there is that constant nagging, loving, yet nagging sensation in your mind and in your heart that tells you, look, you got to do this. You got to do this. Then yes, you got to do this because that is the Lord coming to you, trying to create in you the path that he has already laid out for you. But you know what? We all have free will and we can choose to turn and walk the other way. And God will attempt to redirect. He will attempt to give you outlets that will allow you an escape plan to come back to something that perhaps he had for you and you let it go. Okay. He does all these different things, but either way, we still have free will. You need to make the choice that this is something you're going to go for. You need to make the choice that you care more about following God's will than what you care about the sacrificial things you might have to give up. Okay? You may have to say no to some good things so you can say yes to the amazing things that God has planned for you. All right? And won't it be worth it? Won't it be so worth it? Because guess what? Any plan that you could ever conceive in your mind could be 1,000 times better through the Lord. Okay? Because he can do things above, exceedingly, abundantly above anything you could ever ask for, anything you could ever dream of. But you have to be willing to follow him. You have to be willing to be obedient. And yes, sometimes that is even going to mean being obedient and following your dreams. Don't give in to the lies that the enemy tries to put there by saying that you're selfish, by saying you don't have what it takes, by saying it's too late for you, by saying you don't deserve it, or by saying that now is not the time. Don't give in to those. Okay? Now, with that, if you have enjoyed this, if you feel like there's somebody possibly in your life that might need to hear this message, would you please very quickly go ahead and share this broadcast? I would hate for anybody to miss it who perhaps God has intended this message to be for. So I would love for you to take an opportunity to share this out with your followers. And we will just be praying that those who are meant to hear this, those who need to hear this, that they come and check this out, even if for whatever reason they may have never even thought of or dreamed of checking out one of my Periscopes. Okay. maybe today will be the day that they decide to check it out. Okay. And real quick, for anybody who may have missed the initial introduction, and to be quite honest, I don't know if I ever even fully introduced, but we will go ahead with it. So again, just real quick, my name is Buffy Hood. I am a jeweler with Premier Designs Jewelry. Have been doing this now for 9 years, and I just have such a love of what it is that I do, such a passion for what God is doing through this business, that my desire is simply to share that information with other people and hopefully be able to help them, inspire them, encourage them, empower them, etc. So that's why I'm here doing what I do. So if you're not already following me and you're here because you were invited, please feel free to go ahead and hit that follow button, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to catch you on a live broadcast sometime in the future. All right. Thank you all so much for sharing out with your followers. I so appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the interaction, for being real with me today. And my hope is that you will get off of here today. I want you all to go out there, start dreaming again. Okay. Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to listen to the dreams that God is trying to give to you. Okay. And if you're not very sure, if you're not 100% sure where that's kind of coming from, look, go into prayer with the Lord. Go into prayer and ask. Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Okay. But go into prayer with the Lord and say, you know what, Lord, I'm not really sure where you desire me to be, but I'm asking you to fill me with a dream, asking you to fill me with goals, asking you to fill me with the desire of your will, and then follow it. Follow it. Okay. So I would also challenge each of you, if you've never done so, get out there and create yourself a vision board. Once you have that dream and God just continues to fill your head with all these different things, with all these different images, save yourself some room to be able to add to that vision board down the road, because guess what? He will continue to make that dream grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Y'all, it's time to dream some God-sized dreams. Okay. Dream some God-sized dreams. You are so very welcome. You're so very welcome. And I hope that was a love tap for you. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Tomorrow is going to be our Tips and Tricks Tuesday. So we will have a good time with that. I can't give anything away just yet, but it's going to be a good time. So make sure you come back tomorrow. Join us at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love to you too. You guys have an amazing day. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye.